Skyhawks, 4 or 5, came low across the bay to bomb the 2 landing ships unloading men and supplies. Although missiles were fired, proper air defences hadn't yet been installed. One of the ships, Sir Galahad, burst into flames immediately. The ship had been carrying 2 companies of the Welsh Guards. Although she'd been anchored for several hours, they were still aboard. The helicopters, which had been moving equipment forward, now flocked to help rescue survivors. Black smoke poured out as the Guards' ammunition started to ignite. Despite the risk, the helicopters disappeared into the black cloud, trying to pull men from the waters. Again and again, the pilots risked their lives to save others. Landing craft and pontoon rafts picked more men from the side. Around in the water, orange life rafts started to drift back to the ship. The helicopters used their rotors to fan the light rubber boats back out of harm's way towards the shore. On the cliff tops, medical staff waited for the helicopters to bring the casualties to them. Many of the injuries were burns. So sudden was the attack, there'd not been time for the crew to put on their anti-flash masks. In the middle of the airlift, another air raid was called, but the orderlies kept working, ignoring the crates of ammunition stacked in the grass around about.
Right into there, right, because you're full of home. Eh? What is it?
So, it's all...
Oh, what about this one?
Swap up his house. You want this one right here?
Mate. Just cold.
Once the casualties were clear, the helicopters brought in other survivors, among them the bewildered members of the Chinese crew. Like many of the fleet auxiliaries, Sir Galahad recruited from Hong Kong. In the confusion, it took hours to find out who'd survived and who had not. The priority was to save the living, not count the dead. The fire, fanned by the wind, spread at tremendous speed along the ship. If the shore hadn't been so close, the loss of life could have been even worse. Throughout the whole rescue, there was the constant crackle of ammunition and the sound of bigger explosions aboard Sir Galahad. It took several hours to gather up all the boats and pull them into the shore.
Forward and pull. That's it. Forward and pull.
The medics waded out into the cold water, checking if anyone was hurt.
Bring him in. Oh, she's coming, she's coming. Okay, lads, you've got people following. Okay, well done.
But with all their equipment lost, they were finished as a fighting force.
We need 2 stretchers urgently.
you were always aware of a risk of air attack. This threat was always with you, all the time, because we had jumped from one ship to another, and you could see the damage done by cannon fire, rockets and what have you, to these various ships. We saw the plane just whiz past, probably about mast height or something. In a blur of a second, it's gone, you know, and you immediately look. I looked at it, and the color wasn't right. And it's then, almost simultaneously, about 3 or 4 people shouting, "Hit the deck." Even I shouted, "Hit the deck." And bang, that was it. All hell broke loose. We'd been hit. The one fear you had all the time, the one dread actually materialized. It happened. You know, these modern weapons are designed to kill. That's what they're there for. They have absolutely enormous power. The fireball it creates, the heat generated, the shrapnel, the debris that flies, the secondary detonations of ammunition. Quite enormous, awesome. That's when the devastation starts. Everything went flying. In the back of my head, the hearing, fantastic fire, heat everywhere, smoke, blackness, plunged into black. Although it was a lovely bright sunny day outside, it's black, pitch black, choking smoke. You think, God, you know, you'd never seen anything like it. And the burns, tremendous burns, black, you know.
Okay, lads, you've got people following you in. Give me some slack here.
Some helicopters came out of the smoke. And that was our cue. That was it. Get them off. And mercifully, these young, very brave pilots hovered over us. Couldn't land. Couldn't come too close because of the rigging and what have you, and the flames. So they'd hover. And we were passing casualties up to them. You know, very badly injured people. It was terrible. So I made a beeline for the bow of the ship, round the tank deck. And somebody must have recognized me and saying, "Medical corps. He's a medic." And you attract, as a medic, you seem to attract casualties. They make a beeline for you, or the soldiers on board, the Welsh guards, bring the casualties to you. And that's very sad.